First of all, we'd like to wish everyone a happy new year, expecting great things in this year 2021. We're going to call to order the Finance Committee meeting for January the 4th, 2021. Before we go into our agenda items, we have a special recognition at this time to be presented by our mayor.
Let me say Happy New Year as well to all of us on tonight. We are so excited to be able to recognize one of our firefighters who has given a long life of service to the city of Muskogee, Assistant Fire Chief John Tipton, who has 40 years of service and is retiring from the Muskogee Fire Department. It is my honor to be able to give him a presentation at this time, and I'm going to also ask that he and Chief Jones come down to the front at this time.
It is my pleasure to talk about Assistant Chief John Tipton. Assistant Chief Tipton is a senior officer and member of our fire department. He's had an illustrious career. We fought a lot of fire together, a lot of water under the bridge. But I'm so proud of John and everything that he's done for the department. And I've told him that many times before. And John, thank you for everything that you did for the city of Muskogee and the Muskogee Fire Department. It's well deserved.
Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Now to our Finance Committee agenda. Agenda item number 1, please.
Consider approval of Finance Committee minutes of December 7, 2020.
Reviewing the minutes, are there any corrections or additions to our minutes?
Move for approval.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve our minutes. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Tracy Hous.
Yes.
Tracy McGee.
Yes.
Stephanie Morgan.
Yes.
Evelyn Hibbs.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Marlon Coleman.
Yes.
Item number 1 passes. Item number 2, please.
Consider approval of claims for all city departments November 28, 2020 through December 26, 2020.
Do we have a report?
Purchasing Committee did meet this afternoon, and we approved all the claims, so I move for approval.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to reapprove our claims. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Tracy Hous.
Yes.
Tracy McGee.
Yes.
Stephanie Morgan.
Yes.
Evelyn Hibbs.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Marlon Coleman.
Yes.
Item number 2 passes. And I believe we're going to scratch item number 3.
Correct. Our guest was unable to be here tonight.
Okay. Item number 4, please.
Consider approval to accept lowest bid from Roscon LLC for the Northeast Zone Mill and Overlay Project number 2020008 in an amount not to exceed $3 million or take other necessary action.
Mr. Stewart.
Yes, Chairman and Committee. I want to start by saying this item has not been to the Street Committee yet, so I'm going to ask for approval pending Street Committee approval, and we're going to try to get that done this week so that Monday night it will be also approved by the Street Committee. Timing just didn't let us get it there, and we want to get these bids processed through just as quickly as we can so we can get the street work going as quickly as we can. This item is for the Northeast Zone. It's for the Mill and Overlay Project, and I want to start by telling you again, this is maintenance work. This is not new construction, so when these projects are completed, there may be some imperfections in it, and that won't be on the contractor's part because they're just doing a mill and overlay project, unless it's something they fail to do with that type work. But that will be back on the city to make those corrections. And we're having some of those issues now in that southeast zone, and we have spotted them, we've identified them, and we're going to make corrective actions. I just want you to know that. So this project is part of the sales tax that was passed along with the foundation support. This is the first phase of that 4-year program where we're going to do each area of town by zones. This project is not to exceed $3 million, and it's just the first piece of the northeast zone. We're also going to do micro surfacing, and we're going to do some concrete repair. We sectioned this out so we could see how much the mill and overlay would be, so we knew how much we could put in the micro surfacing and then how much concrete repair we could do. And we're also trying to make sure that we have some money available for striping, because that area, our arterial streets desperately need restriped. This project bid $2,556,783. The reason that we put a not-to-exceed amount in there is we discussed it with the city attorney's office, and there is a factor in this bid where we're going to do some work by the ton for the what we call level up. That's where we take the asphalt machine and just level the street, so it's an unknown quantity, and then we put that solid cap on top of it. So we felt this was a better way to do it. We know we're not going to reach that $3 million mark, but we didn't want to come back up here and ask for more money in a change order. So we know that's going to be well under that. Both of these companies, Roscoe and APAC, are pre-qualified, so they are on our pre-qualified list. They both have done a major amount of work in this area, not only for us, but for the state as well and the county. So these prices are well within range of what they bid in the other areas and for the other entities. We do recommend approval. I will answer any questions if you have them. And again, we're going to present this to the street committee,
Move
So-
for,
asking for approval pending street committee approval.
move for approval?
Second.
We have a motion and a second on the floor. Are there any questions for Mr. Stewart?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
Mr. Stewart, my only question is, I'm assuming at some point we'll have a list of those areas, the specific streets that we're going to actually be working on.
Thank you very much. I meant to mention that. We do have a list of the streets, and we are going to put a map together for the council and the street committee. Should have that next week, I hope. That will show you all the streets. That'll be color coordinated on what type of application. Right now, we only have the mill and overlay and the overlay itself, so we'll have those for you, and then we'll try to update that map as we go, so that will be available.
So
Thank
Mayor,
you.
the streets are in your packet, but they're not in a very visual form, such as a map. So we're going to update that. Just to be clear, that these streets that are in their packet are the ones that are going to be repaired.
Okay,
So, okay.
thank you.
Yes, and let me clarify, in your packet, the way it's listed, if you look, the same streets are in these two categories. That's because it's milled and then overlaid. And then on the next page is simply the overlays. And then the last part, the little bottom part down there, are where the add alternates, and we're going to do those as well. So all of this will get done.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Miller.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Tracy Hous.
Yes.
Tracy McGee.
Yes.
Stephanie Morgan.
Yes.
Evelyn Hibbs.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Marlon Coleman.
Yes.
Item number 4 passes. Item number 5, please.
Consider approval to accept lowest bid from Cook Construction for the Waterline Interconnects Package B project number 2020016 in the amount of $1,341,261.50, or take other necessary action.
Mr. Stewart?
Yes, this is a continuation of that 30-inch water line that we just completed, and we'll be bringing before you very soon for a final completion on that. But this is the interconnects that are planned to go along with that new 30-inch water line. So it's going to have to tie in some of the things that the 24s were serving. And if you'll remember, Mr. Morton presented an item before you a while back for Package C. We're discussing Package B today. And he gave you a map that had color-coded streets on it. So what we're looking at today are the red streets that were on your map, and this is actually for the construction of those lines. So the engineer's estimate on this project was $2,216,843. If you'll notice, the bid price is well under that. It's down about $800,000 under the engineer's estimate. The contractor that is low bid is Cook Construction, who has done many, many projects for us, and we know they can bring it in for that price. We did have the engineers review that price just to make sure, and there is a letter in your packet that recommends that approval. That is great because that gives us $800,000 more to address future water issues as we proceed with this program. Cook is pre-qualified. Do recommend approval, and I'll answer any of your questions.
Any questions?
Move for approval.
Second.
Have a motion and a second on the floor. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Tracy Hous.
Yes.
Tracy McGee.
Yes.
Stephanie Morgan.
Yes.
Evelyn Hibbs.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Marlon Coleman.
Yes.
Item number 5 passes. Item number 6, please.
Consider approval to accept the lowest bid from Omni Mechanical in the amount of $452,955 to replace the HVAC system at the Swim and Fitness Center natatorium or take other necessary action.
I believe we may have Brooke on the line.
This is Brooke Hall, yes, to speak on this item. We do recommend Omni Mechanical. This will replace the 2 Aeon units at the Muskogee Swim and Fitness Center natatorium. This project will help with temperature and air quality control. We're very excited to make this much-needed improvement. I do want to clarify the total, and you can see on your tabulation sheet, $452,995 is the total. And we recommend approval and can answer any questions that you may have.
Any questions for Brooke?
Move for approval?
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve this agenda item. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Tracy Hous.
Yes.
Tracy McGee.
Yes.
Stephanie Morgan.
Yes.
Evelyn Hibbs.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Marlon Coleman.
Yes.
Item number 6 passes, and with that passing, that is our final item for the Finance Committee.
We will call to order the Public Works Committee for January 4th, 2021. Item number 1, please.
Consider approval of Public Works Committee minutes of December 7th. That should say 2020 instead of 2021.
Okay.
Move for approval with the amended date of December 7th, 2020.
Second. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Tracy Hous.
Yes.
Tracy McGee.
Yes.
Stephanie Morgan.
Yes.
Evelyn Hibbs.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Marlon Coleman.
Yes.
And the motion passes. Item number 2, please.
Consider approval of change order number 2 for utility technology services for removal of batteries from discontinued meters for the automated meter reading system project or take other necessary action.
Mr. Stewart?
Yes, Assistant Director Morton actually put this together, so I'm going to let him present it.
Good evening, members of the committee. This is for the removal of the batteries from our old meters, automated meters. If we do not disconnect batteries and have them disposed of, they could potentially cause erroneous readings to certain accounts. This is in the amount of actually $15,300. There was a typo that was on my fault. Which brings the actual total to $2,852,545, I believe, for the total amount of the contract. This will remove I think the number was 8,500 meters, and the staff recommends approval.
Move for approval?
Second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
I did have a question. You said we have 8,500 meters to disconnect.
Well, we are replacing 8,500
Are
meters.
replacing.
So yes, all 8,500 will have to be dealt with. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you.
Roll call, please.
Tracy Hous.
Yes.
Tracy McGee.
Yes.
Stephanie Morgan.
Yes.
Evelyn Hibbs.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Marlon Coleman.
Yes.
Thank you.
And the motion passes. Item number 3, please.
Consider approval of the appointment of Joshua Cotton to the Wellness Initiative Board to serve a 4-year term, replacing Keith Harlan beginning January 1, 2021, and ending December 31, 2025, or take other necessary action.
Councilman Stout?
Yes, Josh comes recommended from the board, the initiative, Wellness Initiative Board. I've worked with Josh on several other committees and with organizations, and he's a great asset to our community, and so I know he will excel and fit this role and for the Wellness Initiative. So I move for approval.
Second. Any more discussion? Roll call, please.
Tracy Hous.
Yes.
Tracy McGee.
Yes.
Stephanie Morgan.
Yes.
Evelyn Hibbs.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Ivory Van.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Marlon Coleman.
Yes.
And the motion passes. We have one citizen signed up to speak, Mayor Marlon Coleman.
Yes, Madam Chair. Mayor Marlon Coleman, 11 Oak Park Lane, Muskogee, Oklahoma, 74401. Let me say to all of the good people of Muskogee, Happy New Year. This is 2021, the year that has the potential to be great for Muskogee. And in order for Muskogee to be great, we need an economically viable Highway 69. The Oklahoma Department of Transportation is currently receiving community input online at us69muskogee.transportationplanroom.com. us69muskogee.transportationplanroom.com. I'm supporting a proposal that expands Highway 69 between US 64 and Okmulgee to be 7 lanes, similar to the way Highway 69 is designed between Quick Trip and Starbucks. We want a new highway that eliminates blighted properties and also spurs economic development. I'm begging and pleading with all Muskogee residents. Join me in having your voices heard because Muskogee deserves better. Muskogee is not a second-tier town that always has to settle for less. We are the city that is too big for small dreams and deserve to have a better highway. The deadline for submitting your input is the 18th of January. The deadline for submitting your input is the 18th of January. And again, I'm begging and pleading all of our residents to visit the website, us69muskogee.transportationplanroom.com, to have your voices heard for a better Muskogee. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. And with that, we are through with our agenda, so we'll adjourn.
We will now call to order the special call meeting of the Muskogee City Council for January 4th, 2021. Roll call.
Mayor Marlon Coleman.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Here.
Ivory Van.
Here.
Jamie Stout.
Here.
Evelyn Hibbs.
Here.
Alex Reynolds. Stephanie Morgan.
Here.
Tracy McGee.
Here.
Tracy Hoos.
Here.
Item number 1.
Receive report on the COVID-19 pandemic in Muskogee, and if necessary, take appropriate action to authorize and approve a subsequent amendment to Resolution Number 2801, declaring a local emergency, or City-County Joint Resolution Number 2803.
Let me say before I turn the floor over to Mr. Miller that the staff of the city as well as the county have been doing everything that they can to be certain that as we move forward in trying to take care of our citizens, that everything is done to the best of their ability with the limited resources that they have. And so certainly I want to thank Mr. Miller and those officials at the county commissioners level as well as the county health department for all they have done and plan to do. And as we work together to try to further combat COVID-19 through the vaccination process, let me ask all of the residents to be patient. Those individuals who are working in that area are doing what they can with extreme limited resources, especially those at the county health department. And as they move forward, I want us to be patient with them as we try to come up with a process that works accordingly. So, Mr. Miller.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I think that you hit it right on the head, that we probably need to extend a special measure of grace to the people at the health department. They're doing a very important job. They do not have enough vaccine to give to everyone, and they would be very happy to give it to everyone that they can. And so we want to support them as best we can. We're cooperating with them to have an event at the Civic Center on Friday. I will let them explain more about what that is, but we've been working with them to try and facilitate logistics and trying to make sure that those who can receive the vaccine do that in a safe and friendly and healthy manner. That is where we're at right now. We know that the virus is still rampant in our community, and so the vaccine is our line of defense to go along with what we've already been doing and we need to continue to do as far as wearing our masks, social distancing, and proper sanitation. That being said, I want to ask our emergency manager, Tyler Evans, to come forward. He's going to update us a little bit on our overall current situation, and then we'll talk further about the vaccine distribution plan in Muskogee as put forward by the county health department.
And good afternoon, Mr. Mayor, members of council. In front of you, you should have your packet that everybody's used to seeing. On the front page of that, you'll see a screenshot from Muskogee County Health Department talking about the vaccine pod that we plan to host here in Muskogee this coming Friday. But before we get to that, I'll cover some of the numbers, and we have a representative from the Muskogee County Health Department to talk about this vaccine pod this Friday that I'll introduce here in just a little bit. It is no surprise that our numbers are going up. Obviously, we did have the Thanksgiving holidays, we had Christmas, and we just had our New Year. So we have seen the result of those gatherings. The number of active cases do continue to go up, unfortunately, with the number of deaths in the city. From 1 month ago, we're up 139 active cases. We're currently sitting at 617 as of today, and we're up 16 deaths in 1 month. So not good news. We expect this to only get worse over the next month because of the gatherings, this short amount of, the 3 different gatherings we've had here in the short amount of time. We expect those numbers to continue to rise. I'm sure all of us know someone here personally that has had COVID-19 or somebody that is in the hospital. Like I say, the numbers do continue to rise. In your packet is more information that you guys are used to seeing. The daily percent positive with the 7-day rolling averages. The trips to the emergency rooms continue to increase. And all that data is included in here. It's nothing new. Kind of what is missing is the White House task force reports. Oklahoma is elected to stop receiving those reports from the White House. The governor has stated that all the information they have available on the coronavirus website is there. Like I said, the White House task force did make some recommendations, and it was obviously the state's option whether or not to adopt those. So that's unfortunately no longer included in your packet, but a lot of the information that we have as far as the positive cases, the number of vaccines administered, the number of deaths, so on and so forth, is readily available information that can be included. Without much further ado, let's talk about the vaccine clinic that Mr. Miller has talked about. With that, I do have a guest speaker, Kristen Carrillo from the Muskogee County Health Department, to talk about that and to answer any of those concerns that you guys may have.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kristen Carrillo. I'm with the Muskogee County Health Department. I am the health planning coordinator. I have a guest with me as well. Her name is Richland. I'm here to answer any questions that you may have about Friday. We have a COVID vaccine pod for Friday. It is going to be from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. We are looking to do 200 residents per hour, or 200 appointments per hour. Everything will be done by an appointment through the Muskogee County Health Department. We started scheduling today and made an announcement through the Facebook, our Muskogee County Health Department Facebook page. We are requiring masks for everyone that is attending. We will have partners, community partners helping us as well to make sure that people are social distance, monitored after they are given their vaccine, and then being able to get people in and out as quickly as possible.
Kristen, one of the things that I was going to ask you to elaborate on, which you did a little bit about those community partners, if people need to volunteer or if you all need additional volunteers, how should they reach out to be able to help?
So right now, we don't need any additional volunteers. If we do, we will reach out to our community partners such as Tyler or the emergency management through the county if we do. But right now, we are bringing in staff from our 8 county health departments in our district.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I think one thing we need to make sure we announce is that you guys, when they receive the vaccine, they will have to, are you going to ask them to wait 15 minutes to watch for any reactions?
Yes, that's.
So I think we need to just make sure the public's aware that if you do, it's not like a drive-through vaccine clinic. If you come and get the vaccine, you'll be asked to kind of sit and wait for 15 minutes. There'll be medical personnel, I'm sure, that's there. If there's any reactions, which is not likely going to happen, but there was someone there if it does happen. But just want everyone to be aware that it's not kind of walk in, walk out, to dedicate some time to it.
Correct. It will be a requirement to wait the 15 minutes. It may be even 30 minutes, depending on your history of vaccines and if you've ever had a reaction to a vaccine previously.
Mr. Chairman, may I be recognized?
Yes.
I was just wondering, on the vaccines, the people have to present the health card for anything, or is it all free?
No, for the vaccines, for our testing and our vaccines, there's currently no charge. So no insurance will be taken.
Okay, thank you. Turn the floor back over to you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Vance.
Thank you.
And for our guests watching tonight, as Kristen stated, you can go to the Muskogee County Health Department page. They have posted the information there. There's a couple of numbers you can call. I'll go ahead and read those numbers out if anybody's at home watching with a pen and paper. The number that you need to call to schedule an appointment is 918-683-0321 or 918-912-2160 to schedule an appointment with the Muskogee County Health Department. This vaccine clinic is for residents 65 years of age and older this Friday from 9 to 3. This information is also on the City of Muskogee Emergency Management Facebook page along with the City of Muskogee Facebook page. If anybody has any questions, I'd recommend calling the health department first. I have been answering some questions through Facebook on the emergency management page. If I don't know an answer, I'll try to get one as soon as I can. But that concludes my update. There's no further questions.
Mr. Miller?
Yes, I think just to emphasize something Tyler said, this is there are a limited number of vaccines, and so these are reserved for the people that have been mentioned, for first responders, healthcare workers, and people over 65. If you're not one of those people, please don't call. Please don't come to the Civic Center without an appointment. It's going to be a confusing process anyway. There's a lot of logistics to work through, so please only participate if you're in one of those categories, and otherwise, it'll make it more difficult on everyone else. So I just want to re-emphasize who it's for. Don't show up at Civic Center wanting to get a shot. You need your appointment first, all those kinds of things. So we're excited to be able to have the vaccine in our community and want to work with the health department to make it as effective and safe for our citizens to receive the vaccine as possible.
Kristen, what's the name of your little guest again?
Richland.
Richland? Kristen, I want to say that because you're here with your special guest, I'm assuming that you're working after hours.
Yes, sir, I am.
And I want to take this opportunity to recognize you because you represent so many people in the healthcare field who are volunteering after the clock to be certain that communities are vaccinated and that people are properly cared for. So I just didn't want you to leave without us having noticed that.
Thank you.
And to thank you as well as to all of those other healthcare workers in similar situations where they're sacrificing a lot of their family time to be able to do what needs to be done to take care of our community. So let me thank you and all of the workers in your situation.
And we appreciate that. We have actually been working since last Sunday on the event for this Friday, where we were receiving emails or conversation about what we were going to do, how we we're going to do it. And our leadership team has been working through this weekend to work out the details as well. And the health department employees appreciate that as well, because today, I can't tell you how many phone calls we received pertaining to the COVID vaccine, and our phone has not stopped. And so we appreciate the acknowledgement, because the last, has it been 10 months now, 11 months of in and out of a lot of vaccines and testing. So we appreciate that very much.
Thank you for all you do.
Mr. Mayor, I have a question. I have a question, Mr. Miller. I, hate to turn down this road after such great information about the vaccine, and, I encourage everyone to take advantage of the vaccine, but we have to highlight a very important issue when it comes to the whole COVID process, and that is a mandatory mask mandate that we have in place.
Yes, sir.
I received a couple of calls during the holiday and during the time that we've been out, and people are complaining that, we're still under mask mandate in our community, and there's a lot of stores that are actually ignoring it, and customers are feeling uncomfortable. What process do the city have as far as in place? Is there a number where people can call if they feel like, there's public gathering places, stores and so forth that are not mandating that masks be utilized in their locations?
So, as I recall, when we put our mask mandate into place, there was not a criminal penalty or a penalty in place for enforcement. And so, what we have put in place is we will help businesses enforce it that will, and we will, if someone refuses to wear a mask and they're being asked to, we can remove that person for trespassing, for violating the city's the rules on the businesses. We do not have ordinance in place that allows us to, fine or close down or shut down those businesses. However, people, I think the most effective way is for people to patronize businesses that they feel comfortable in, and to be. I know there's places I don't shop that I did before because I've noticed that I don't feel as comfortable because people are not wearing their masks. That's where we're at with the mandate that we've passed. We do have, to your question, we do have mitigation policies that we ask every business to submit. And so if people want to call either our city inspection department or our city attorney's office, we can compare what the business is doing compared to what their mitigation plan says they're going to do. And so we do have some way of tracking and working with businesses. And we're happy to call if people want to report business that's not in compliance. We're happy to follow up with that business and emphasize the importance of the mask mandate with our staff as well.
Mr. Deputy Mayor, if I could add one other thing. The email address that we set up originally for mitigation plans is still in effect, and we have been receiving complaints through that address, which is compliance@muskogeonline.org. And when those complaints come, and they've been forwarded from the city manager's office as well, when someone calls in to complain, we do coordinate those with our inspections department. And if the complaint is the business has no signage or they're not enforcing it, then we will send someone out to make contact with the business, offer them signs, and advise them that this resolution is in place. We'd appreciate their enforcement of it, and would they please hang up their signs? Could we answer any questions? Or effectively we serve in the role of educator in those capacities, and that's been very successful in the complaints that we've received and the businesses that we've approached in that regard.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, excuse me, may I be recognized?
Yes.
I was in Walmart. I had to go in there for a short time the other day, and the employee right out there where you go into Walmart, she said, Ivory, she said, why do you have a mask mandate when you're not enforcing it? And I said, well, Walmart should be enforcing that mask mandate. The person at Walmart, the main person. So I looked around when I went in Walmart. She's right. A lot of people don't have masks on in Walmart, just walking around like it ain't nothing. Another gentleman told me yesterday, I was somewhere, and they said there was this place with a bar. And around the bar, they were just sitting around like, wasn't 6 foot apart. Matter of fact, they was even drinking out the same thing, passing it around. I said to myself, wow, they don't believe it's real. But we know it's real here in Muskogee. So I'm just, I'm kind of like the deputy mayor. We need to do something. This next time we pass the mask mandate, we need to put something with some teeth in it. That's what we should have done in the first place. I went back to March. Back in March of 2020, when we first started talking about masks, and I was sitting right there. I'm sitting there with my mask on, nobody else hardly sitting in here with the mask on. We've come a long way since March, but it was real. We never would have thought in 2021 we'd be here right now with a mask on. But I just wish, if you go in some of these businesses also, I advise the mayor, the councilman, and you, Mr. Miller, to go in some of these businesses. They don't know who we are. Just walk in there with our mask on, you'll see a lot of those people that own these businesses, they don't care. They want the money. That's it. They don't care if people come in there with masks or not. They just want the money. One business I was in, these people come in, even these people, the business owners, the people that work for the business, they didn't have no mask on. They just said, oh, come on in. I wanted to say something, but I didn't. I kept my mouth quiet. I just wanted to see. So I started going around some of these businesses, small businesses, you say, and see just what they're doing, if they're following the rules. They're not. They're not. So we need to do something this next time before this mask mandate run out. We need to put some teeth to it to get these people's attention. Because as you see now, when I brought that casket down there that night, death is real. And it's real right here in Muskogee, Oklahoma. It's all over the world. So I just wanted y'all to know that tonight. I started not to say nothing, but I just can't help myself because when I see people doing wrong and we're trying to protect them and keep them here on earth, life is precious. I know that for a fact. So I'll turn the floor back over to you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Do we have any other comments or questions of Mr. Miller?
Mr. Mayor, can you repeat that email, Roy, please?
Absolutely. It is compliance@muskogeeonline.org. And we can put that on our Facebook page
Please.
as well. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, any other comments for this agenda item tonight?
Mr. Mayor, am I going to be recognized?
Yes.
I just want to say it's pretty amazing that our county is able to do this vaccine clinic this Friday. There's only, out of 77 counties as of yesterday, there was only 4 that actually reached a level to where they could get to phase 2, and Muskogee was one of those. And it's because of our health department. It's because of our city emergency management, and also a big part of St. Francis, and that can't go unrecognized. I mean, they put us in a place where they can vaccinate our parents and some of us up here, so I think we just need to make sure that is recognized, because a lot of counties are still a long ways away from being able to do this.
Thank you. Any others tonight? No residents have signed up to speak to any of the further items, and this was the last item for tonight. And if we have no other discussion, we are adjourned.